Welcome everyone. Welcome to the College Admissions Collaborative Highlighting Engineering and Technology Virtual College Fair. We have an incredible list of institutions for you to hear from this evening, but before I turn it over to them, I do have a couple of housekeeping items with you all. Number one, this is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off. And so our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening, but we know that you're going to have some questions. So please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Note the college or university that you're directing your question to, and then type your question just so that they can answer most appropriately. We also know that this is a really fun way to learn about colleges and universities, so we hope that you will sign up for more sessions. There's 2 hours more after this, so look at those and sign up for more. There's also some panels and information sessions tomorrow, as well as on Wednesday, so we hope that you take advantage of this opportunity. This program, along with all the programs happening tonight, will be recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/CACHET. And just one more time, audience, feel free to type your questions in the Q&A at the bottom. You don't have to wait for a particular institution to present in order to ask those questions. And again, note the college or university that you're directing your question to, and then also list out your question. I'm your facilitator tonight. My name is Courtney, and I'm just really excited that you're here. And now I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter. You're going to have the opportunity to hear from Stevens Institute of Technology. Megan, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Courtney. Just going to share my screen with you all so you can look at some slides while I'm chatting. My name is Megan Murphy, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Stevens Institute of Technology. I work with a team of counselors who help students like you learn more about our school and then ultimately review applications for those of you who choose to apply. Of course, as Courtney noted, if you have any questions this evening, please feel free to put them into the Q&A and I'm happy to answer them. But if after today, feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor. We're happy to help in any way that we can. Stevens, in case you're not familiar, is located in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is right across the river from New York City. We're a smaller school with just under 4,000 undergraduate students. We aim to welcome in about 1,000 students into each of our incoming classes. What this looks like on a day-to-day basis is an average class size of 25 students and a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So if you are looking for a smaller community in a smaller city like Hoboken, we might be a good fit for you. If a student decides to apply to Stevens, what is important to note is that you do have to indicate your first and second choice program on your application. So you are indicating what it is that you think you want to major in on that freshman application. A couple things about that though. One, it's not set in stone, so you can still change your mind once you get to Stevens. You do have 2 years to officially declare that major. You can also take courses across the different schools and colleges and programs. So you're not limited just to that one major in terms of the coursework you can pursue. You can also pursue accelerated bachelor's, master's degree programs at Stevens. So there's lots of academic choice beyond that initial one you select on your application. And again, still time to explore. We just ask you to take a best guess at this point in time in terms of what you think you'd like to study, because you do begin in that major coursework right away. So it helps you figure out very quickly, yes, I like this, let's move on to this major, or no, not so much, let me shift my focus and try to study another area. There are these 34 different areas here, primarily, as you can see, in engineering, computer science, the sciences. We also have a business school as well as a humanities and arts program. What's important to note about our engineering programs at Stevens is that they're bachelor's of engineering degrees, or BEs, as opposed to bachelor's of science degrees. And that's because at Stevens, regardless of the area of engineering that you ultimately go into, all engineering students are taking the same courses their first year at the institution. So those first 2 semesters look the same for all of our engineering students. This really gives everyone that same solid core foundation in the field. Really good for someone who's more undecided, but also for someone who's more sure about what they want to study. You're typically not only working with one type of engineer, so having a broader understanding of the field is helpful. We also have what we call our design spine. So every semester that you're an engineering student at the school, you're taking a design class. So a very hands-on, project-based, collaborative curriculum. You graduate with 8 design classes total through our engineering program. All students, though, at Stevens will complete 2 design classes through that senior design project, which is essentially your senior thesis capstone experience at Stevens. Computer science is quite popular at our school. We break down our department into computer science or cybersecurity, so you choose to major in one or the other. Our newest academic building on campus, the Gateway Academic Center, is home to our computer science, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence programs. Computer science is still, of course, a broad field, so many students do choose to concentrate in different areas, so focusing their higher level elective coursework in perhaps something like information systems, data structures, machine learning. You have choices there. All the sciences really form the backbone of so much of what we offer at Stevens. These break down into smaller majors, which is quite advantageous for students who have research interests. You can pursue student research, your own research projects, or you can work with faculty members on their research. It's up to you and your preferences. We're also quite successful in getting students to go on to medical school if that's an option that you're considering. About 700 students study within our School of Business. We have a quantitative finance program, which is unique. Not many schools offer this at the undergraduate level. Really good fit for someone who's interested in finance, mathematics, and computer science. This combines all three. We also have a business and technology program that allows you to combine an area of business with an area of tech. So maybe economics and computer science, or marketing and music and tech. You're essentially choosing something from within the business school and from outside the business school to create your major. And then our humanities and arts programs, all students will take some liberal arts coursework while at Stevens. This is important to round out your curriculum, but some of our more popular majors within our College of Arts and Letters are music and technology and visual arts and technology. Students applying to these programs do have the option to submit a portfolio as a part of their application if they'd like our faculty members to review that. In terms of the student life experience, we have over 100 clubs and organizations on campus that students can choose from. We have Division III athletics, club, and intramural sports as well. Thousands of hours of community service completed by our students. Fraternities and sororities, if Greek life is of interest to you, lots of performing arts opportunities, so tons happening on campus. We're also entirely open to the city of Hoboken, which becomes a big part of your student life experience, lots of shops and restaurants for students to explore there. And then of course, New York City across the way, museums, Broadway shows, sporting events, things like that to complement the experience. We provide housing to students all 4 years. It just looks a little bit different depending on your class year. So freshmen, if you're living on campus, you're in one of our first year residence halls up the hill, and over 90% of our freshmen live on campus. Then sophomore year, starting in fall of 2022, our sophomore class will move into our new University Center complex, which will house that entire class, as well as the first 3 floors being more student life space, more student lounges, another fitness center, another dining facility. And then junior and senior year, if you want to continue to receive housing through the institution, Stevens leases apartments in the city of Hoboken on your behalf. So you're still considered a resident of the school because you're getting your housing through the school. However, you're not required to do that. However, you're not living on campus. You're living in your own apartment in Hoboken. You can be a commuter student all the way throughout. And then the other 2 things that I'll just highlight are professional opportunities. Internships and cooperative education at Stevens are quite popular. Internships are those traditional summer experiences between your academic years, and co-op takes your time at Stevens to 5 years, in which you're spending the first year and the 5th year in the traditional way, taking full-time fall and spring semester classes, and the 3 years in between you alternate every other semester between going to school full-time and working full-time. Feel free to put any questions in the chat. Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks so much, Megan, to you and Stevens Institute of Technology. Audience, I know that there are lots of questions that you guys have, so don't hesitate to put those in the Q&A, but please make it easier on our panelists and direct your question to a particular college or university so that they can answer most appropriately. Up next, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from the College of New Jersey. Brian, take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi, thank you, Courtney. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are listening and viewing this. My name is Brian Swate. I'm the Assistant Director of Transfers here at the College of New Jersey. Yes, you heard that correctly, but I'm here to answer any and all of your questions as we move through the process tonight. I know I have 6 minutes. I do not have a presentation for you, so I'm going to need your listening ears on tonight, but I'm here until 6:45 to answer all your questions if they do come up moving forward. So what do you need to know about the College of New Jersey? I think in this panel tonight, we are the furthest south in the state of New Jersey here tonight, and other schools in New York there. So my colleagues over in New York, appreciate you for being here tonight. So we're the furthest south. So we're in the southwestern corner of Mercer County. We are located right in the center, or I guess the southwest corner of Central Jersey. For those of you who are in Central Jersey, it's a real thing. We are here proving it. We are about 7,000 students on campus, and we are a circular campus, enclosed campus here within the city of Ewing, about 10 minutes away from Trenton, about a half hour away from Philadelphia, and about an hour, depending on how fast you drive, to Manhattan as well. So like I said, we have about 7,000 students on campus, incoming first-year student population of roughly 1,200 students, which boils down to in-classroom experience, around 13 students to faculty ratio, with about a 23 student class ratio as well. So you're in a small, close-knit classroom. And I want you to imagine thinking about what it's like to be on a college campus, thinking about movies you've seen, the vision that you're projecting to be on campus and what that's going to look like, and kind of throw that to the side. So we are kind of, as you can see, I'm reporting live from a big skyscraper on campus here. I'm just kidding. I'm virtually just as much as you are. But we are a small colonial kind of campus. So you can get anywhere on campus in about 5 minutes or less. We factor in about 13 minutes because you're going to run into somebody that you know and have a small conversation before you get to class. So like I said, we're a circular campus. Everything to the left of our circle, if you're looking at it from the top down, is all your academic buildings. Everything to the right of that circle is all your extracurricular involvement, dining halls, res halls, et cetera, et cetera. So we kind of split campus for you with everything you need to know on both sides. So we do offer 7 different schools here of academics. We have a School of Engineering, School of Education, School of Business, School of Arts and Communication, so on and so forth. And we offer a lot of areas within the areas of engineering, if that's what you're interested in, or the School of Sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, and so on and so forth. We offer the ability for students to apply to one choice major. And if you're admitted to that major coming into the college, you're admitted not only to TC&J, the School of Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, so you don't have to reapply to that. All of our courses are ABET accredited, so you know that coming in into that program, you're going to be set up for success and go through that rigor of that course load moving forward. Not only will you be tested academically, but tested through research and other areas to make sure that you're coming out pristine moving forward, as I'm sure a lot of the colleges that you're going to be listening to tonight also offer that as well. The other thing that I want to point out is, we are in area at TC&J where we're not in the lecture-based hall. So we don't have large auditoriums with thousands of students sitting there listening. You are a student here at TC&J, so you would be known as Brian or Sally or Jack or whoever you may be, and not student XYZ, 15, 14, whatever it may be. So professors get to understand what you're looking to achieve with your degree here, what you're looking to learn, where you're looking to go for a future career, and having those connections for that small, close-knit alumni base sets you up for success moving forward as well. So knowing who to talk to, who to connect you with, and how to help build that resume moving forward. So having that ability to have that close connection with your academic advisor, who more than likely will be many of your professors throughout that program, having that ability to run with those professors who are at the highest level of their degree, doing research, doing opportunities to shadow them in a variety of different areas as well, only helps set you up for success. The other thing, we offer a pillar system of what we like to focus on in terms of academics here, and one being leadership. So being able to come in and work with a professor to help publish work and literature of your studies and whatever you're doing into academic, the world of academia, so that you're known within the world going into those places. You have published research, you're able to present that moving forward, whether it's for a master's, doctorate, or a job moving forward. So we actually embed you into that core environment there as well. We also offer a variety of different extracurricular activities on campus. And I don't want to spend too much time. I only got a couple more minutes here, but we have an early decision 1, early decision 2, and a regular decision timeframe for you to apply, with all those deadlines coming up soon. So an early decision 1 being November 1st with an anticipated release deadline of December 1st. Early decision 2 with a January 1st deadline to apply with a February 1st anticipated release, and then a regular decision application deadline of February 1st with a April 1st anticipated deadline to release. So I know I'm giving you a ton of information very quick, and you're going to get a lot of information here tonight. So please do not hesitate to reach out with questions. And I got about a minute left, so I'm going to wrap up with some of the things that we offer here on campus as well. We are one of the top premier Division III athletic schools in the country. We have over 50 different national championship teams on campus. So if you're looking to get involved in academics as well as athletics, TC&J is a great spot for you in those terms. We have 200 and some odd plus different clubs and organizations on campus, everything from academic involvement to extracurricular to social justice and civil rights to religious involvement, Greek life, and everything else in between for you to get involved in. So whatever it is that you're looking for and looking to achieve with your academic education, TC&J would be a great opportunity for you to get involved in terms of being close to that kind of core of what you're looking for in terms of professional development, in terms of job placement, and located around like the pharmaceutical, Route 1, Route 9 areas. But also a great opportunity to go and study abroad and working with a variety of different areas across the globe to get your experience, not only here within the state of New Jersey, but also globally, so you can take that information and bring it back to you, not only in your academics while still studying here at TC&J, but also in your future careers moving forward. My stopwatch says it's just at 6 minutes here, so I want to thank you so much. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat box as well. And please feel free to ask me any and all questions you have tonight. I look forward to interacting with you, not only tonight, but moving forward through the rest of your journeys. Thank you so much.
Brian, thanks so much to you and the College of New Jersey. Next up, we have for you NYU's Tandon School of Engineering. Take it away, Cindy, whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Courtney. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I'm going to just share my screen. Just got a couple of slides to show you guys as we talk here. So since I've just got a few minutes, I just wanted to hit on some highlights about the Tandon School of Engineering at NYU. We are part of New York University. However, we are positioned in downtown Brooklyn. And we see this as a real attribute for our students. We are, excuse me here, located in the heart of the Brooklyn Tech Triangle. There is a lot happening with startups, with really interesting things happen in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and our students are positioned right in the middle of it all. So this means internships, this means a possibility to launch their own ideas, and it's also a really exciting place for our students to be culturally with food and music and all that other fun stuff. We are a global university, so we have locations all across the world. And so our students have the opportunity to study away as part of their undergraduate career. Sometimes that can be a little tricky for engineering students, but we have developed pathways to our global sites for our students to have that opportunity. And potentially at some of the sites even take engineering courses. We are really big on experiential learning. We're preparing our students for the future of work. And with that, there's a number of ways for students to have these research opportunities and other professional development opportunities undergrads. One would be our summer undergraduate research program. We like to highlight this one because we think it's a really good example of experiential learning where our students apply and they are handpicked by faculty members to work in their labs throughout the summer. These are hands-on research experiences and they are paid positions. We just want to touch on our faculty. These are innovators from around the world in science and technology. Our faculty are doing research with other labs and other organizations across the globe, and our students are learning, of course, from these brilliant faculty. We would just want to touch quickly on our BSMS program. So this is an accelerated program to work towards 2 degrees faster. So these are students that are working towards both their bachelor's and master's degree. There is a big tuition discount as well. And also really exciting for our students is you do not have to take the GRE if you are accepted into this program. This is a pretty competitive program. 3.5 GPA is required in order to be considered for it. But it is, I think, a real attribute for our students. We have a large alumni network that includes Fortune 500 CEOs, lots of successful entrepreneurs, university presidents, startups, and this provides a really vast network for our graduates. So we're a big research institution, so we have a number of cutting edge labs and research centers. Listed here are some of our research areas of excellence. Particularly around cybersecurity, urban studies, data science, AI, and robotics are some of our areas we're really proud of. And featured here is just one quick photo of our makerspace. It's a 10,000 square foot prototyping lab. Students do class projects and projects outside of class in this space. We also have an outpost. It's a maker garage. That's for like the more, I would say, fun and maybe perhaps a little bit more dangerous machinery. So that's where people are welding. That's where people are using the power tools and they're building projects and doing group work over in that space. So I would want to touch quickly on the career services. So NYU as a university has a Wasserman Center for Career Development. This is the university-wide career services office. So we have our own location over in Brooklyn. However, in addition to that, we have the Tandon Center for Career Development as well. So what does that mean? That means that we have, in addition to the university career development office, we also have one devoted just entirely to Tandon students. We have career coaches. We do different types of career fairs, all kinds of one-on-one attention for our students as they prepare for internships, for interviewing for jobs after graduation, and also helping them explore their interests and consider what they want to do after they graduate. And then finally, we are big on entrepreneurship. We have 3 business incubators. So this is something that's a partnership with NYU in the city of New York. So we're launching these little baby businesses. And this is very exciting because it allows our current students to participate and perhaps do an internship at these as part of these incubators. We also have a minor in entrepreneurship, and part of that that minor in that course of study is spending some time within the business incubators. And I believe, Courtney, I think I have 1 minute or so left. So very quickly, yeah, okay, great. So very quickly, something I just wanted to hit on as well as the vertically integrated projects. So these are ongoing research projects that our students can work on. They get multidisciplinary studies. They're working with faculty. They are perhaps even publishing papers and presenting at conferences once those start back up again. And they're also learning how to become leaders and have that dynamic of what's going to happen when you do graduate and you begin working out in industry. So I think that's my time. So I will stop there. Thank you so much, everyone.
Cindy, thanks so much to you and NYU's Tandon School of Engineering. Sorry. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Columbia University. Samantha, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Samantha Goldfarb. I use she, her pronouns, and it's my pleasure to speak to you about Columbia today. I want to start by grounding us in Columbia's longstanding history as the 5th oldest institution of higher education in the United States, oldest in New York. And note that the Columbia University umbrella includes undergraduate schools, which I'll talk about in our brief time today, as well as over a dozen graduate and professional schools that make up the intellectual community at Columbia. We are located in New York City, in Manhattan, and I'll note Manhattan means the island of many hills in the language of the Lenni Lenape and people, and it is part of the ancestral and traditional homeland of the Lenni Lenape and Wappinger people, who are still active members of our community throughout New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. You'll hear a lot more about the campus if you join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Central Time, where my colleague John will go into a lot more detail, but I want to cover a couple of key components. First, to note, for our traditional undergraduate schools, we have Columbia College, which is our School of Arts and Sciences, where we do have our traditional lab sciences, as well as visual and performing arts, social sciences, and humanities, as well as language and cultural studies. And we also have our Food Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, for those of you who may be interested in the more technical and applied sciences side of the house. And across these 2 schools, we offer more than 100 different programs of study, and our 6,000 undergraduate students are coming from across the country, around the world, and are bringing together a collection of different voices and experiences that are not only important for growth more broadly, but are central to the education and mission that we offer for Columbia students. We do have a traditional residential campus experience. So we're located in the Upper West Side in Morningside Heights, which is situated within Harlem. But we do have a traditional campus with guaranteed housing for all 4 years, where students are studying, eating, discussing, and have that traditional college campus experience. The key component I want to highlight that should make us distinct from other schools that may be presenting this evening is our core curriculum, which is different than other schools in that we actually have a specific set of courses designed by Columbia faculty with set syllabi, where students are discussing the same primary texts and key disciplines regardless of their major. So our engineers, as well as our scientists, as well as our humanists, study together the works of Plato, Simone de Beauvoir, Toni Morrison, study works of Western art and music, write and discuss through this shared curriculum that's a more than 100-year-old tradition. So it unites not only students on campus through the shared intellectual experience that students have in addition to their majors and electives and so many other opportunities to explore, but also connects Columbia students to the entire generation of alumni of Columbia who have also had this experience that prepares them to be critical citizens who are engaging in the world around them and applying their experiences in societal contexts. I do want to note specifically for our students interested in engineering that the humanities core curriculum that our engineers take is designed to encourage them to explore, and they also have the opportunity to take advantage of more than 20 non-technical minors in addition to their technical programs of study, and are generally guided by the vision of engineering for humanity, which asks students to combine their technical, liberal arts, entrepreneurial, and research skills to solve the most pressing challenges of humanity in health, sustainability, security, connectivity, and creativity. Students also have access to things like our makerspace and our startup lab for them to explore their entrepreneurial experiences and have the resources to thrive, but do want to note that grounding mission. And students have access to giants in their fields with a 6-to-1 student to faculty ratio, where all of the courses taught for our undergraduates are being taught by professors like Farah Griffin, who teaches undergraduates in African-American literature, or Gordana Novakovic, who's a pioneer in functional human tissue, or Mike Massimino, our resident astronaut and engineering alumnus. But all of these professors teach undergraduates, have office hours, are accessible. More than half live in that Morningside Heights neighborhood, and are dedicated to also connecting students to research throughout their undergraduate experiences, both in the sciences and beyond. Oh, there we go. And I'll note that students have access to professional opportunities, connections across community with more than 500 clubs and organizations, a dedicated career services group called the Center for Career Education that guides students through the process of finding professional opportunities and securing those professional opportunities through a database of jobs and internships available only to the Columbia community, but also have that Columbia connection on campus with over 100 cultural, ethnic, religious, and socio-political groups on campus, including the oldest Black students organization at a non-HBCU, Division I varsity athletics, arts organizations, and some of those academic places for students to build those connections. And the last piece that I'll note is about affordability. I want you all to be left with the fact that Columbia is dedicated to meeting 100% of demonstrated need for all students, regardless of their citizenship status or where in the world they're joining us from, and we'll cover that cost without loans, without gaps, and that includes tuition, housing, books, and so much more of those billed and unbilled costs. So I'd love to talk to you more. I'm happy to answer additional questions in the Q&A, and you'd hear a lot more in our session tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Samantha and Columbia University. Our final presentation tonight will be from Rutgers University. Take it away, Laura, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining me tonight. I am Laura Brobichai. I am the Regional Admissions Counselor for Rutgers, actually based in New England, but happy to talk to all of you. Again, thank you for joining me. A brief introduction of Rutgers University is that New Brunswick is the flagship of the State University of New Jersey. We're 36,000 undergrads studying in over 100 majors within 11 schools under that university umbrella. Our students participate in over 750 clubs, play on one of our 24 Division I Big Ten sports teams, study abroad at over 180 programs in 50 countries, and conduct research in one of our 175 plus research centers and institutes right on campus. We are made up of incredible high achieving students from around the country and around the world, and we're the most diverse school of the Big Ten. We're very proud of that fact, and you will grow and learn not just in the classroom, but also by being surrounded by people from all walks of life with very different thoughts and very different beliefs. It's something that we really enjoy about our culture at Rutgers is sharing those thoughts and being open to and listening and hearing each other and how we're going to work collaboratively toward solutions, whether the solutions are in this room or out in the world. So very exciting place to be. Big numbers do mean big opportunities, but we promise that big numbers do not mean that you will be lost. We'll talk about some of the things that make Rutgers unique and hopefully intrigue you to learning more about Rutgers after this brief session. So first of all, where are we? We're in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It's about 45 minutes from New York City, a little over an hour to Philadelphia. There is definitely a tax advantage for companies to be based there. So we're surrounded by 19 Fortune 500 companies, definitely a mecca of pharmaceutical companies, as well as 75 corporate headquarters right around us, including Johnson & Johnson right on our campus. There's a train station on campus, so very accessible, and Newark Airport is 20 minutes away. So again, very accessible, great location. Many students will travel into New York City for internships. So not just in the summer, being able to access that during the school year is pretty phenomenal. New York is especially attractive for our business students as well as our fine arts students who can take advantage of programs such as the Road to Wall Street and internships on Broadway and the arts districts. You don't need to go into New York, though, for entertainment. New Brunswick has so much more to offer, has much to offer. It's very much a great college town with shops and restaurants, businesses, all within walking distance of campus. What makes New Brunswick campus unique is that it's broken up into 5 different category or neighborhoods that are very, very different from each other. We are this way because we're the 8th oldest college in the country, and we started with the land grant, and as we continue to grow, we have these plots of land. We have a city downtown, we've got a farm, working farm with plants and animals, and then we have more suburbia, more typical college campus vibe. Students can live anywhere regardless of their major, so can really create what they want their academic and college experience to be, as far as being in a city, being in the country, being in suburbia, taking part of in any of these areas to live, work, and play. They're definitely connected by a busing system, and it takes only about 20 minutes to get to the furthest most point, so not super spread out. College Ave is definitely the heart of campus. It's the smallest, but most students will find themselves there at some point. And breaking down our campus into these neighborhoods means you're never going to see 37,000 students. So you have these smaller environments to navigate and get to know people, and it definitely makes it feel a little bit smaller. We also break down that number in our schools. So we have 11 schools under our university umbrella, 7 first-year schools, and we do have a School of Arts and Science, which is liberal arts based, and then more professional schools like our School of Pharmacy with our 6-year direct program into pharmacy, nursing program, School of Engineering. This is a exploratory for your first year. We do have an option for a 5th-year master's and a 5th-year MBA coming out of the School of Engineering. The business school, again, marketing, finance, accounting, and unique majors like BAIT, which is business analytics and information technology. So computer science majors who maybe don't want to program all the time. This is more about data analytics. And Mason Gross School of the Arts is our fine arts conservatory. Our School of Environmental and Biological Science is similar to School of Arts and Science, containing many of the physical and social sciences, but a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more lab-based, and definitely including the areas of environmental studies, as well as the economics and the leadership of within sustainability. Additionally, we do have a 16:1 faculty to student ratio, some great career experiences, mentoring programs, like I mentioned, Road to Wall Street, 84% placement across the board for most majors, 100% in many majors. This is what school spirit looks like. We are a Big Ten school with a lot of spirit and a lot of alumni. They certainly love to help our students with internships, co-ops, and giving back financially and in spirit. The application is a little bit different at Rutgers. It's our own or the coalition app. We do ask students to self-report their transcript, and we are test optional this year. The application fee is the only additional part of the application. No supplements, no letters of recommendation. No due dates are November 1 for early action, December 1 for regular decision, so fairly early. If you have questions about any of this visiting or any of these programs, please send me a note in the Q&A. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Laura, to you and Rutgers University. I'm now going to invite all of our panelists to turn back on their cameras. And it looks like we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. Let me try to share my screen to see if that will go away. Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing it. Okay, now we're all good. I'm going to ask all my colleagues to turn back on their cameras and tap into their expertise. So the first question I'm going to ask you all is, what do you want students to remember about your institution? And we'll go round robin in the order that you presented originally. So Megan, that means you up first.
Great, thanks, Courtney. I think the two main things that I would want students to take away when hearing about Stevens is really that best of both worlds idea. You have that traditional campus experience in Hoboken, but we're entirely open to the city of Hoboken, and then have that access to New York. So students get to really seamlessly move between these three locations to make their undergraduate experience. And then also those professional opportunities that I was getting at the end of my presentation. Internships, which are open to all students. Cooperative education, which is primarily for our engineering, computer science, and cybersecurity students. Over 90% of students will have a professional experience while an undergraduate, many more than that. And this really results in that 95% placement rate for us and an average starting salary of $77,000 a year. So students really do well for themselves, and they see the return on that investment that's made for them at Stevens.
So one thing I would like students to remember about the College of New Jersey is that we are a college, not a university. So we are not fighting for space with students in the master's or doctoral programs. So coming in as an undergraduate student, you have that full access to the labs and research equipment with your professor's help. So being able to learn at the graduate level, while as an undergraduate level, is something that you're going to take on moving forward with your career as you move forward. And having that ability to kind of run the lab, run your research, and be able to take over from there is something that's invaluable.
All right, so I would say our big takeaway for the Tandon School of Engineering at NYU is our emphasis on experiential learning. That ranges from everything from study away opportunities, research opportunities, the vertically integrated projects program, study away, it goes on and on. So we feel as though we're preparing our students for the future of work. And although they are STEM majors, there's still lots of ways to get involved as an undergraduate student. And I would also just add on to that we are part of NYU. So that means that our students have access to all the amazing resources and student life opportunities at the university.
I think it's me next. So the thing I hope students take away about Columbia, or things I should say, are core, campus, and affordability. So we have our traditional liberal arts core that all students take, and it is that shared intellectual experience. We do have that traditional residential campus in New York, which you might not expect if you haven't had an opportunity to visit. And in addition to meeting 100% of demonstrated need for all students without loans or gaps, at Columbia, it's about your ability and not your ability to pay. So we think about affordability beyond just your financial aid letter, and are thinking about free laundry and study abroad being covered in the same way that costs would happen on campus if you're studying during an academic year, work study. We're thinking critically about how to make sure that Columbia is an affordable experience for all students who are admitted. I'll stop there.
And I'm not sure that I can beat affordability of Columbia University, but I would say the return of investment is definitely part of the Rutgers model as well. On average, out of state, our total cost of attendance is about $43,500, and our average package is about $20,000. So something to consider. And that return on investment, our average starting salary is about $67,500. So it is there. And then the experience, it's just such a, New Jersey has such a great energy. I'm not sure that I can, convey that as one person, but I think that is something that's very, very special. And Rutgers, the community of people is definitely a special place. So hopefully you can get on campus and see it.
So colleagues, this time of year in the fall application season, there's all kinds of rumors that are swirling around. I heard from so-and-so's brother that so-and-so's sister thinks that I should XYZ. So if you could debunk any myth in the college search process or college admissions process, what would it be? And we'll still go in that same order that you presented originally. So Megan, up first.
Okay, great. I think one of the things I would want students to know, or like a myth to debunk, is that we don't expect you to be perfect. I think we're humans. We recognize that you're human. We recognize that each of you has different life circumstances and coming from different areas and environments. And we don't need you to be perfect. We just need you to show us your best self. Show us, answer the questions that we ask you. Tell us all that you can through your application. Share with us any circumstances you might want us to be aware of as we're reviewing. And just recognize that we're not looking for reasons to deny students. We're looking for reasons to welcome them into our communities. I didn't think that when I was 18, so I don't fault you for it, but I would love students to recognize that.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Megan. You nailed like what I was going to say with that last sentence there. So yeah, I mean, we're actively looking for ways to admit you to a school. Our most hated thing that we do is unfortunately have to deny students admittance. We want to see you flourish on our campuses. We want to see you involved on our communities. We want to see you do the next big club and organization and bring that to life. We want to see all of that come to life through your application. That's how we figure that out. So the more information that you could possibly give us about who you are as a student, both inside and highlight outside of the classroom as well, whether that's in extracurricular activities or just being home with COVID and helping out with your parents or your guardians or whatever you were doing, the more information that we can see about who you are as a student, the more information that we have to place that idea and image in our head about how you will impact our campus community and the community around us. So similar to what Megan said, we want to see all that information, good, bad, ugly, and we'll be the ones that sweat about bringing you onto campus. So don't sweat on your end. Don't worry about it. It's a lot easier for us to say on our end to not stress about things, but seriously, take a deep breath. Everything will be all right.
All right, so to sort of add on to what Megan and Brian have said, I would like to echo those comments. It's really important perspective to have as a student applying to college. And I would just add on to that fit is incredibly important, not just why you're the right fit for the institution that you apply to, but why is that institution the right fit for you? Be sure that you do your research and you understand the culture of the school, that the programs and the opportunities align with your values and your long-term goals. It gives you a place to explore your interests. And of course, also enjoy your time as an undergraduate student. So fit on why the university is a good fit for you and why you're a good fit for the college or university, I think is key.
All right. Seems like we're mixing great advice and myths to debunk, and we've already covered such great ground. So I don't want to repeat what my colleagues have said. So I'll just throw in the converse, which is like there's no secret hook of an essay that guarantees admission. There's no secret extracurricular that is the magic bullet of making a student's way into an institution. So picking up where Cindy left off, like fit is a really important piece where Brian and Megan left off, that the whole application comes together to help us better understand your information and you want to fill in those gaps. But there's no kind of one single shot that guarantees either admission or an application being denied. And so just do your best in the application.
Yes, absolutely. Right. How much more can I elaborate? I would say, there was a great story about fit, about, vacations, and people can somehow relate to that pretty easily. And if, rankings were, used like US News rankings, also they rank colleges, but they also rank vacations, right? And so, if their number one vacation is listed as, New York City, but you're a beach goer, that might not be the best vacation for you, even though it's ranked number one. So do your research and kind of dive into yourself and see what's important to you. One question I ask of students all the time, well, two questions. One is, what is your biggest fear about going to college? And secondly, what is your, what do you want to bring forward from your high school experience into your college experience? So when you think about those things, and you really do think deeply, you don't have to share them, but when you think about that, look for those things in a college. Look for a university or a college to debunk some of your fears and to, be open to having you bring forward all the things that were important to you in high school. And I think that if you do that, you will find that good fit. And I think lastly, I would talk about tests and kind of building on what Brian was saying and everyone was saying about sharing as much information as you can and whether or not you should submit test scores. I think this will vary by school, but I think in general, if your test scores are not reflective of you as a student, then you probably shouldn't send them in. I think that is, you will be at a school that is test optional. We will have all of the information, in your essay, in your activities list, et cetera, in your application. So don't feel pressure to submit it if it doesn't make sense for you.
And I would just add, feel free to connect with these lovely, lovely professionals. If you have questions, that myth is that there's silly questions. There's not. They're here to help you. And so use that to your advantage. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. There'll be a quick 5-question survey on your way out. If one of our panelists didn't get to all of your questions, feel free to reach out to them individually. There was lots happening and they might not have been able to answer all of the questions. There's more sessions, 2 more hours. There's more stuff on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So join. This was recorded tonight and will be available at strivescan.com/CACHET. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.